All right, welcome to Math 8. This is Chapter 1, Lesson 4, looking at powers of monomials today from your textbook here. All right, the key concepts from today's lesson was that if we take a power of a product, to find the power of a product, we multiply the exponents. All right, so if I have 5 to the second power, and that then goes to the third power, I keep my base the same, and I take the two exponents and I multiply them together. So this becomes 2 times 3, which is then 5 to the 6th. And it works the same with algebra as well. Okay, so that's the basic part there. Remember, if we were multiplying products together, we added, right? So if I have 5 squared times 5 to the third, then we added those exponents together. Okay, now because we're doing an exponential power, we're going to multiply those together, so this becomes 2 times 3. So very different, but it's kind of the next phase of what we're going to do there. Be careful as we go through this today that when we get to the power of product, that then the factor, the power, has to go to each term within this. So the 3 in our sample here, to the cube power, goes to the value, goes to the 6, and it also goes to the exponent. So they rewrite this as 6 to the third times x squared to the third, and they have to work that out. We'll have some samples of that in today's work as well. So this is the only tricky part that does come up with this. Kids get in a hurry and forget about that leading coefficient number. So let's work on that as we go through this today. So I have a lot of the odd problems here to work on with you from page 35 in your textbook. And we'll go through some odd problems on the front page here and one even one. So here we go. So first of all, start with the basics here. Our base stays the same as a 4. Now this is 2 to the third power, so I'm going to multiply 2 times 3 is going to be 6. So this becomes 4 to the 6th power. On number 3, I have a d that stays the same. That's my base, and this is going to say exponent. I'm going to multiply 7 times 6, and 7 times 6 is 42. So this becomes d to the 42nd power. On number 5, we start getting a little number in the front here, and I have multiple things, multiple exponential values. So I can work backwards here if I choose. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. If I chose to, I could write this as the base stays the same as 8. Stays the same as 3, and it's just 3 to the 8th power. You may be asked to write that out, which you certainly could, and go 3 times 3 times 3 and figure out what it's going to be. I'm going to leave it in that form for now because it's just asking me to simplify using the law of exponents, not actually evaluate and solve it. On number 7, though, I have two things happening. I have a coefficient and I have a variable. I could rewrite this as 5 to the 4th times j to the 6th to the 4th power. Okay? So this becomes something a little different. This becomes 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Well, 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. And 125 times 5 is 625. So my 5 to the 4th power becomes 625. The j value becomes 6 times 4. And 6 times 4 is 24. Okay? So there's 2 parts there. Don't forget to do the 2 parts. Sometimes kids will simply put 5j to the 24th, and that is not correct because I had to take that 4, the exponent value 4, and put it with the 5. On number 9, same idea. This 3 is exponential. I have to do 6 cubed, and I have to do the 3 going to the a squared and the b to the 6. I have to do it 3 times. So I end up really with 6 to the 3rd power times a squared to the 3rd power times b to the 6th to the 3rd power. Okay? And 6 times 6 is 36. Okay? And then 36 times 6 is 216. So my whole number here is 216. I'm going to multiply the exponents, so this becomes a. 2 times 3 is 6. And then with the b, multiply the exponents. 6 times 3 is 18. So my answer is 216, a to the 6th, b to the 18th. can't quite see that. Sorry about that. And number 11. Same idea. I have to put this to the 5th power with the 3, with the W, and with the Z. Alright, so this becomes negative 3 to the 5th power times W to the 3rd power to then the 5th power times Z to the 8th power also to the 5th power. Okay, so 3 to the 5th is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which happens to be 243. Now let's think about this here. I have a negative times a negative times a negative times a negative times a negative. So negative times a negative is a positive. Positive times a negative is a negative. Negative times a negative is a positive. And a positive times a negative is a negative. So I ended up with a negative 243. And the W, 3 times 5 is 15. And the Z, 8 times 5 is 40. So my answer is negative 243, W to the 15th power, and Z to the 40th power. Let's look at 2 more here. First, a word problem. It's a great word problem. It says the shipping box is in the shape of a cube. Each side measures 3 c to the 6 d squared inches. Express the volume of the cube as a monomial. Now, because it's a cube, we know that for the volume is going to be, a length times a width times a height. And since it's a cube, it's all the same thing. So this basically becomes a side times a side times a side, or side cubed. Think about it. It's the first to the first to the first. I add those up, and it's the 3rd power. So what they're giving us here is a value of one of the s's, one of the sides. So one side is 3 c to the 6 d squared. To do the volume, I'm going to cube the entire thing. So now I take the cube, and I put it with the 3, I put it with the c, and I put it with the d. So 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. 6 times 3 is 18, so this becomes c to the 18th power. And for the d, it's 2 times 3, which is 6. So it's a great little problem because volume is cubed. If you remember back from before where you did the volumes, you got cubic inches or whatever it might be. This would be cubic inches or inches cubed. One last one, number 16 down at the bottom here. I like it because we have a nice fraction, and fractions are always fun. We're going to take this squared and we're going to distribute the squared to the 3/5, to the a to the 6th, and the b to the 9th. So 3/5 squared becomes 3/5 times 3/5, which is also known as 9/25. For the a, I have a to the 6th squared, so 6 times 2 is 12. And for the b, I have b to the 9th squared, and 9 times 2 is 18. And so my answer then becomes 9/25, a to the 12th, and then b to the 18th. All right. Hope that helps you a little bit, and it helps you get going on the rest of your homework problems for the night. Good luck, and again, ask your teacher if you need more help. Thanks.